I am on my spring break and I'm looking forward to my next Bonsai Acres trip, which is tomorrow. But before I can go, I have to construct an A-frame so I can bring up a couple big panel doors. So that wood right there has to become an A-frame in the next couple of hours. So tucked away in my third stall of the garage are the 3 panels I got from my friend Steve. We've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3. And those are going to become the doors/windows of the shower house up at Bonsai Acres. Let's get that A-frame going. Now, I've never made an A-frame before, so I'm just going with the brain. And actually, in the way to get the trailer, because I'm bringing a trailer up tomorrow with this big equipment, there was a truck in front of a stoplight right before the U-Haul center to go rent my trailer that had an A-frame on it. So I got a couple ideas from that person. Thank you very much. I have a 4x4 post, and I have a 2x6 by 8 foot post that are going to be the bottom sections of the A section, and then the pole that goes up to hold the frame in place. Hey Nigel, big cut coming up. The peak of the A-frame is done with the 4x4s, the 2x6 giving it some real good sturdy front to back. If we have to, we'll put another 2x4 on the inside so it doesn't want to wobble anywhere. Now that's about 6 feet. The trailer is 9 feet. The windows are about 7.5 feet. In consideration of the 2x4s that are 1.5 inch deep, thick, that's going to be an extra 3 inches that it's expanded beyond 6. So I'll make this 6 feet apart, but these will be 6 feet 3 apart. So let's go make 4 cuts and we'll get back to drilling. I got the main frame completed. The 4x4s are the center beam, 2x6s on each end, and then a 2x4 at the bottom of the 2x6s, which leaves another couple of inches. If I put one more board here, then when the door comes in here, it will not be able to slide past this. And for extra safety, I can also put a 2x4 up this way so it doesn't go past as well. So I'm going to probably put this, if I have enough wood, this way. But the more important piece to put on here is going to be this. Because there's a 2x6 on the outside of the 4x4 down below, I need something to make it another 1.5 inches out this way. So I will make this into a cap right here. We'll cut these pieces off, one on both ends, and then the 2x4 will lay on that cap and be flush with the bottom. Okay, as I walk around the structure, we seem to be in good shape. I've got the bottom supported down. I've got 2 supports right here on top, the end caps. Now we just have to measure this, make 1 template, 4 cuts, and we're gonna have this thing almost done. So I just have to make sure the bottom hits the edge of the 2x6 and a little bit above flush here so the glass never hits this bar here. I want it to be on this bar here, right about there. Steady, steady, steady. Let's go give this a cut. Well, there we go. One side is done. So we have a pretty sturdy unit. We're gonna do the other side and we are almost ready to put it in the trailer. And through the magic of editing, look, Toby just showed up. Hey guys. Here we go, a little extra support on the ends. And we are ready to put a couple of arms to protect the windows. He couldn't come at a better time because now we have to do some heavy lifting and see if the thing's actually gonna work. Well, thanks to Tobe, I'm ready to head up to the property tomorrow morning. We've got the doors strapped on in 2 locations. just around the door and the frame. And then we've got some rope from front to back through the 4x4s and the trailer. And then also one lower down going around the doors, keeping everything kind of in good shape. Now if I was making really fast stops or hit a really big pothole, that of course is the danger. So I have to take my time and watch what I'm doing tomorrow. No rush to get up there tomorrow. And then when I get to those dirt roads and side roads, I have to be super careful. But we are all set to go. Big thanks to Toby for helping out real quick. I'm gonna head up there tomorrow first thing in the morning. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Today, the septic and well. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Very excited. I'm not sure if what Toby and I did was overkill with the strapping, but the ride was very smooth. This is probably the best U-Haul trailer I've ever rented. So smooth down the road. And I could see in the rearview mirror how this was acting. We got the styrofoam between the layers. We've got the two straps, the blue rope up top and around. Now the task of undoing everything and seeing if I can get these doors into the shed all by myself. The first door should come out relatively easy because it's just one door. The second side has two kind of sandwiched in there. That might be more challenging for me to lift out of here. Done. Two to go. Well, there you go. Just rolling them on in. I'm not going to carry those heavy things. Worked out perfectly. 3 up, 3 down. Part 1 of today was essential well and pump coming out to check out my well. Looking forward to a great big geyser. And well, here's what we got. Got some bad news today up here at Bonsai Acres, and it has to do with the well. On a bright note, we could think of the positive. The new well cap fits beautifully. Yeah, check that out. Got some pipe wrap to cover the holes, so no more things can get down there. So let's see if I can talk about this. They just took off, the guys, and it was a tough morning. So in the beginning, all kinds of black sludge came out. It was like I was, you know, striking oil, and hey, maybe I could have made a few bucks. No, that was really dirty water, gunked up for years of probably not working real well. Pulling up the pump, taking a look at the intake part, just gunky, and that's why it probably wasn't working really well last fall. Over time, that eventually cleared up. It got a lot lighter in color, but then it had this kind of a bubbly grayish look to it. And that was not good, because the gray section was this right here. That is sand. This is like what I want my feet to be touching at a beach. Super powdery, fluffy sand. It's still wet right now. And that came up over, they were irrigating this thing for about an hour, at least an hour. And they discovered a couple of things. Let's see if I can remember all of this. The flow rate's not that great. For a pump to be submerged down there, there has to always be water feeding the well. And if you take all the water from the depth of the well down, you would be trying to siphon up water into your pump without any water there. If you try to have too powerful of a pump, getting too much water, too many gallons per minute right away. There are valves for that, there are reducers. You can go ahead and make that less gallons per hour and all that kind of stuff. They thought we were gonna have this huge geyser, as did I, but we did not. So low flow rate, what does that mean? That means that I can't turn on my hose full blast, like with a sprinkler system probably at this point, and like water trees 200 feet away. Could I have a slow, almost like drip line out there? Absolutely. That would work really, really well. So I have water, I have access to water, and I can have a really slow drip line and just water the trees that way when I need to. Okay, that's just the beginning of it though. We did find out the well was 75 feet deep and the static was 33 feet. So you go down 33 feet before you hit water, and then it's 33 to 75, so about 40 feet of water. And then you put down, I'm gonna put down my new solar pump. I'm gonna put it down 45 to 65 feet. Probably more like 60-ish, and that'll give me from 35 to 65, 35 to 60, you know, 25 to 30 feet of water. It's about a gallon per foot. The one guy thinks this was put in probably 60, 70 years ago. And there's usually a screen down there that helps protect the sediment from coming up into your pump. And they believe, based on the gunk and how much gunk there was, that there's probably a rusted out hole in that screen. And so with a hole in the screen, you're kind of SOL. What I can do though, is I can put a pump sleeve on my new pump. So I can put a sleeve on, and I can put a reducer, and those two things will mean less flow, so I won't have as much what? Sand. Because sand is the enemy of your water pump. So in a nutshell, I probably should dig a new well on my property. So if I'm gonna live in a cabin up here, more part-time-ish to even future full-time-ish, dare I say, if I were to do that, this would not service a cabin. One of my possibilities is to get a couple of IBCs for up here and then pump water in there slowly on a couple of days I'm up here and always have water in there. And then I can pump water out of there into a sprinkler system and water my trees. That's like having two pump systems. Now this pump system that I have, the solar pump, could actually go into an IBC tank and could water my trees just fine. But I still have to get water out of here. So I got some really crappy news today. This is just awful. In this area, a rough quote to put myself in a well, the cheaper kind of well, anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000. A higher end unit, if there's rocks that they come into, then it's charged by the foot, could be $18,000 to $20,000. So I'm talking a minimum of $10,000 to $12,000 to get running water up here where I'd want it, and it could supply cabin with water. Now a cabin is a couple years away, and I already bought this solar powered pump, but they said it's gonna be tough. The sand that they're finding, even though it'll settle, when that pump kicks on every time, it's gonna suck up water, stir things up, and it's gonna create a problem. So this sleeve and a reducer, so I'm not doing mega gallons per minute, is gonna be my savior. And I'll only be up here watering trees maybe a couple of dozen times a year. I hope Mother Nature provides all the rain my trees need, but if it doesn't, I have to come up here and use water. Now, also on the structures that I will build, I will have rain gutters that will collect water, so I always have rainwater. And now I really am gonna have to do that, plan B, to have IBC tanks or other bigger tanks, maybe even buried in the ground, that I can access water, that I can fill up with this really slow going pump to make my new pump last for years instead of get in tough shape. With the sand in the system, pump on, pump off, pump on, pump off, that's gonna be the worst thing for the pump. So you wanna have the pump at a slow pace all day long to fill up my tanks, and I'll be in better shape. So that's the news. That's where I've been mentally and physically for the last 2 to 3 hours up here, working with the great guys from Essential. And they were positive, and they tried to keep a positive spin on it, but I said I need it honest, man. I need it straightforward, and they told it to me. They told me what I needed to do. So part 1 of today is done. We're gonna close this thing, and then the septic lady's coming at 3:30, and that could be bad news number 2. But it's not all bad news. I still have water. I might get a couple of years out of my pump, but that's an expensive couple of years. Time for lunch. And then some cleanup before the septic tank thing. Oh boy. A quick update for y'all. I have not seen Porter here in the shed the last 2 times before this, and obviously he's not here now. Maybe he's moved on, seasonal changes, new home. We'll see. Sat down by the fenced-in trees for a quick lunch, and then I said, you know, after that bad news with the pump, I needed me a good campfire. Haven't had one for a couple times up here, and it's been dry, the wood should be dry, so I gathered up some twigs, and then I discovered my little lighter thing didn't work. So I drove into town real quick, got a couple of Bic lighters, and here we go. Nothing like a fire up at the property, or the cabin if you have one. Such an important part of going up north is relaxing by the fire. The sun's out, so we're still dealing with some decently warm temperatures. The septic person is on their way about 3:30 this afternoon. I got about an hour, hour and a half to putz yet. I think I'm gonna dig some more cinder blocks out of the ground and maybe work on that driveway project a little bit. But let's enjoy this for a little while. And some more snacks. While mulling over some things with Toby yesterday, it dawned on me that the A-frame that brought up the window and the door units that I put in the shed today, the A-frame could be a solar panel display. We could put the solar panels right on the A-frame. It's already angled nicely to the sun. Trying to get rid of some of the mess in parts of the yard, I dug up some cinder blocks. So as it's facing now, the sun hits it pretty good. But in the summertime, we'd have to angle this up. So I'd have to put another cinder block underneath there and have it at that angle, which would work. Or I can go ahead and build a shelf out here on these 2x4s, put a shelf running across, or another piece of wood that's higher so the solar panel sits up higher and goes up this way. We can have it maybe teeter-totter up off the corner here. So I'll have to monkey with that, a few extra pieces of wood, and we'll be able to put the solar array right here. I think if I just extended two 10-foot 2x4s right across the frame, then I could put 1, 2, 3, 4 solar panels so we could power that once we get the pump in there. So bad news about the pump, but good news about this, I can recycle it. Now, it's not treated wood because I didn't think about that beforehand. So I'll have to put some stain on here just to make it last a good couple of years, if it even lasts that long. I might have more permanent structure within a year or two to put the solar panels on. But for now, this will work great, and I can repurpose what I've already used. The amazing people at Epic Water sent me a couple of jugs. So the Epic Water pitcher is in my kitchen, in my refrigerator, BPA free, and it replaces 1,000 plastic water bottles. So I'm always for less water bottles. Eliminates up to 99.9% of contaminants. The filter is 100% recyclable and replaceable. This pitcher produces up to 150 gallons, 565 liters, and it's just an amazing, amazing product. Constructed from medical grade Triton plastic. And this thing is going to be in my kitchen and my refrigerator forever. So during my work today, you may have all seen me taking a few sips out of a water bottle that I want to tell you all about. So this is from the folks at Epic Water, and it has a filter right inside this water bottle. So this thing has a filter inside. It takes away so many contaminants, makes really, really clean, easy drinking water. It's got a nice carabiner they sent along with this, and it's a really good Nalgene bottle. So as I was working today at Bonsai Acres, I would stop and keep hydrated. And to keep hydrated, I want good, clean water, and this is fitting the bill for me. So fantastic. So I want to thank again the folks at Epic Water Filters for sending me these bottles to use at Bonsai Acres and in my home. Now, if you'd like to take advantage of a wonderful deal, they have offered all of my viewers 15% off of your first purchase of any of the Epic Water filters and bottles. So go ahead and put Bonsai Acres in as the code word, and I'll have in the description the link to their website, and you can order yourself a bottle. You can have a pitcher for your refrigerator and have some amazing water. And again, 15% off for all Bonsai Acres and Dave's Bonsai viewers. So thanks for watching. Thanks to Epic Filters, and I hope you take advantage of this amazing deal and get some good clean water and help protect the earth a little bit. I do believe in that part of it so very, very much. I shifted over to the second driveway where I'm trying to put a culvert in. They just had a lot of cinder blocks and logs, and the water just ran through. I don't know when a bridge was here last, but we're gonna go ahead and put some driveway gravel down eventually. So I was able to clear out a few more cinder blocks, a few more rocks, and a bunch of leaves. Can see actually water flowing a little bit now. So I stopped right about there. You can see the water glowing right there. And we've got this low line area here, and this comes right to the culvert area. And so I was able to clear out a fair amount here today. Not quite as sharp all the way down, but we have plenty of room for the culvert. I'll bring that down in a moment. And then we've got some cinder blocks that are still here, a couple real tight here. It looks like there's a big log right here, some cinder blocks here. I'm not going to take any of those out because why take it out, loosen up the earth, and then just to pack the earth again. So let's get the green drain tile. I'm not going to test for level, although I do know I can see water running right there, so it is running downhill. But we'll worry about that next time. I didn't bring my level. I didn't think I'd be putting this in today for sure. 10 feet wide is plenty. We'll put this all in with dirt, and that's a wide enough road for us, I think. And it fits in there just beautifully. Now, if I get some more cinder blocks, the ones I dug out around the property, and I hug them in right next to both sides, and then fill it in with some of the driveway gravel, mixed in with some of the dirt, and then we'll just go ahead and we'll have ourselves a road. Now, the one consideration I had was replacing some of these round logs right over here and filling in the dirt, and so that would be another possible structural support, if you will, from front to back. But it wouldn't be solid like a solid block of wood. But with all that dirt packed up and mound down around that, that should be fine for just driving over. I think the only concern I'd have is if I had a really super jumbo vehicle sitting and parking on it, would it put enough pressure on to damage that? But water should slowly but surely, if it fills up, might go down that tube naturally. I'll just leave it here, and we'll come up next time and fill it in. See if I can get some gravel ordered. So back when I purchased this property, I had talked about there was more things checked off the list, more boxes checked than I even anticipated. But the possibility of those things was wonderful, but there is the chance that things wouldn't work out. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on this Wednesday, the 26th of March. And I just found out that the septic thing that's in the ground will most definitely probably have to be abated. It's just a tube in the ground. We found no drainage anywhere on the hillside going towards the swampy area. No holes, no tubes, no nothing. She can't tell if there's a tank underneath or not. The ground is still too frozen for us to dig down to see if the tube going down goes into a tank. So we'll have to wait till it thaws out to get a final decision. Not looking good. So what to do next? I can't do anything if I want to have a bathroom up here until I put a septic in. To be up to code and to do any planning on Bonsai Acres for property that people will be able to be comfortable in and enjoy, including a bathroom and possibly a shower house, I have to do a septic system. So there you go, a double whammy today. The well is subpar and the septic system has got to be abated. Really just all comes down to money. So I've asked the gal that came out to, she's going to design a septic system for me. It was really wonderful. She walked the property with me. So that was the other part of today too, with all this news. With those professionals here, where can I build? What can I do? What's to code? Where does the drain field have to go? How far do things have to be? It was nice to be with a human instead of just doing everything online. And I've looked online, but and the county website, but fantastic. She has given me some positive vibes to think about the future. The only challenge, of course, is that it's going to cost a little more money than I was hoping to spend. But if I'm going to keep moving forward on this, I have to bite off this big chunk. I have to have septic because I have to have people be comfortable to come here and go to the bathroom and not have to drive to town. So there ends a somewhat productive, but kind of one of those Saturdays up here at Bonsai Acres. But let me tell you with 100% confidence, I'm not deterred at all. Now I have a plan. Now I know what I can do, what I can't do, and where I should put things and where I shouldn't put things. And this will actually help me sleep a little better at night. And I've had a nice fire as I think about leaving in the next hour or so. I haven't walked the property yet, so I think I'll do that to kind of ease my mind. And I have one more thing to show you too before I take my walk. So let's show you that real quick. So just down below the nature's version of a bonsai, I have a special treat today. Starting this trip, I'm going to always bring a bonsai tree up to Bonsai Acres. And so I have one of the trees that came from the original Bonsai Acres planting from about 5 years ago this spring actually. And there is one of my Korean firs. And so that bonsai sits at the chopping spot. We got rid of a tree right here, right next to the big giant red pine. I'm going to bring a tree up to just be reminded of the passion and the goal and the drive to make an oasis with bonsai. The sun shined on it and made it just stand out a couple times. The well pump guys they came and talked bonsai for about 10 minutes with me. It was fun. So I didn't get the news I wanted today, but I got news that I needed to get today to move forward with Bonsai Acres. So we'll take this guy home. We'll bring another one up next time, and we'll get to it, whatever that may entail. Time to walk the property, everybody. Until soon. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Very excited.